If you head to the mountains this weekend, you'll likely notice a blanket of fresh snow, and it's only the start of December. That bodes well for our most important weather-dependent industry, winter snow sports, which last Sunday kicked off with a bang at Killington as the world's best ski racer did it again.
Things had to come together today for me to end up getting on the top step, and I'm so thankful that it happened here of all places with this crowd and this energy.
In first place, representing the United States of America, Mikaela Shiffrin.
Yeah, she's the champ, all right. Shiffrin, whose years at Burke Mountain Academy allow local fans to call her one of our own. Winning another World Cup slalom before a crowd of 10,000 on Sunday. An event at Killington also showcasing Vermont to a global television audience. The races were broadcast in 60 countries. Winter snow sports are big business, and Vermont is coming off a very successful season last year. 4.1 million skier day visits. That's the most in 5 years and the most of any eastern state. The majority of people on Vermont's slopes are visitors. An analysis a few years back found skiing and riding account for $950 million in direct spending each year. That multiplies into a $1.6 billion total economic impact. It is a huge chunk of Vermont tourism. So, how do things look this season? The president of Ski Vermont is with us this morning. How about that World Cup?
It's fabulous.
You were there?
I was there.
Obviously, that is a huge shot in the arm for Killington, but isn't it pretty great for skiing across the state?
Absolutely. We worked with an economist over at the Agency of Commerce a few years back to take a look at, what the regional impact of that event is for the state. And, we estimate it's about $6 million coming in at a time that, is a fairly low season for tourism, even though, it's usually the beginning of ski season. 32,000 were estimated over the course of the weekend. Visitors, spectators. You've got, and it's just a great way to showcase our ability to make snow, our capability to do that. The size of our mountains, the beauty of Vermont, to a nationwide audience and a worldwide audience. It's broadcast in 60 countries around the world.
But it was a tough summer for some resorts, for some ski towns. And
absolutely.
So we take the bitter and with the sweet, as they say. But
yes.
How are town areas like Ludlow and Okemo and Londonderry, and we'll be talking with Magic for this program, but
yep. It's been a slow road back. There are some areas, some businesses that are still trying to reopen, and obviously this is a big season for them. So, they really they're really motivated to get back open. And but we were fortunate in that the majority of the resorts really didn't sustain that much damage, but those that did, namely mostly Magic, Okemo, and Killington, sort of right there in the central part of the state, did incur quite a bit of damage, as did the town, certainly of South Londonderry and Ludlow. So, but the towns have been working with the ski areas. I know, Ludlow is very, very tied, obviously, to Okemo, and they help each other out. So
we won't see an impact in terms of winter operations?
No, we're not expecting to.
We'll have more with Molly Mahar ahead, but let's check in with a couple of our alpine ski resorts eager for the new season. Beginning with our northernmost resort, and which has a new owner this winter, Jay Peak.
This winter, starting this weekend actually, we have Wintershine. It's a festival of community and lights, and it's going to be all throughout December. We're going to be lighting up the entire resort with hundreds of thousands of lights. And wow. We're going to start it off with a bang this Saturday with fireworks.
So as we move into the season, some are reporting a pretty strong start. Thanksgiving is usually, you know, not a high probability event, and yet weather has cooperated.
Yes, we've gotten so far about 18 inches in the past couple days, and it's just been so snowy here. It's great.
18 inches. Wow,
Yes.
that's a gift. The big news, I guess, in the off season was the sale of Jay Peak. Is that changing much?
Right now, nothing has really changed that much. We're still kind of settling in to our new owners and kind of just going with the flow and how everything's going.
How does the early season indications look in terms of pass sales and lodgings?
Numbers are good. We're up in pass sales, and lodging, we're a little slow for December, but we're moving in really great numbers for January, February, March.
Jay's long relied, probably more than most, on Canadian visitors because you're so close to the northern border. And the Canadian dollar is weak against the U.S. dollar. Is that having an effect?
No, we are still accepting lift ticket sales at par, so that's still a big thing for Canadians to want to come over the border and come try out Jay Peak.
Allison Augustin at Jay Peak Resort. Next, we'll head south to Londonderry, a town hit hard by the July floods, and its local ski area, which is called Magic Mountain. Their slogan is, "Where skiing still has its soul." Now from Londonderry, Jeff Hathaway. He's the president of Magic Mountain, and it's a pleasure to welcome you to NBC5 In Depth.
Oh, great to be here. Thanks.
Tell us the Magic story. You are a different kind of ski area than the big boys that we see around the state, around the country, frankly.
Yeah, we're a bit of a throwback for sure, and that's what we aim for. We look for a more personal, intimate experience, both the ski experience itself, less crowded, more free, but also interactions between our customers and employees, customers to customer, much more intimate experience between the mountain and the people that come here. So it's a real throwback to kind of the spirit of skiing in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, I mean, you have some vintage lifts, although this year you have a big upgrade.
Yeah, we are finally adding it's a new to us lift. It used to be at Stratton, but it's a quad, Poma Quad classic lift. We like fixed grip lifts versus the high speed lifts. It just presents a more kind of ease of people onto the mountain, less overcrowding on the slopes. And this will really double our uphill capacity to the summit, which is key, because what we like, we've become more popular, and one lift to the top wasn't doing it. So this quad really gives us 2 lifts to the top and spreads people out, and really no lines, which is going to be the beauty of it, even on our busiest holiday weekends and things of that sort. So a real different experience.
Are you capacity controlled? Do you limit your tickets?
Yeah, we did. We're one of the first ones to do it. Actually, Magic, going back into the late 60s when Hans Thorner owned it, became one of the first mountains to actually control the amount of skiers. I think the limit there back then was 3,500. We limit our day ticket customers to 1,500 max. And again, it all goes back to the ski experience that we want here. We want it to be less crowded. We want people to really have room on the slopes and in the lodge and in lines, so they're not waiting forever. They're actually moving, communicating, having fun skiing.
Sure.
So, real throwback.
Well, I mean, full disclosure, I grew up in that area and used to ski Magic when I was a kid, and went back last winter, and it was a thrill because there have been financial struggles over the decades, but you're in business to stay.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time in the mid-'90s when Magic was actually closed.
Yeah.
So we've and since then, when it came back from closure in the late 90s, it had struggled to have enough capital to operate a place. It's very capital intensive business. It's machines, it's snowmaking. There's a lot of things that go on that tend to break every now and then. So we've really put together a great investor group that's committed to seeing magic for the next generation. And a lot of that takes capital improvements. We're not over-investing to the size place we are. We're really targeting our investments appropriately for the size place we are and what we want to do with it as a different type of ski area.
Jeff Hathaway at Magic. Straight ahead, what ski resorts need and will ask from Vermont policymakers in Montpelier this winter. And we'll take you to Lake Placid and set the scene for a winter packed with events on and off the Olympic Mountain. Now to the Adirondacks, home to the ski area with the biggest vertical drop in the eastern United States, which opened last weekend top to bottom for the second year in a row. Joining us now from Lake Placid, Darcy Norfolk. She is the head of communications for the Olympic Regional Development Authority, which manages Whiteface Mountain, the Olympic Mountain. Welcome to NBC5 In Depth.
Thanks for having me.
For those heading to Whiteface in the upcoming winter, what has changed over the summer in the off season?
Sure. So the big news at Whiteface, which will be opening within the next couple of weeks, is the new Notch chairlift. So it's a new detachable quad, and it's going to take riders and skiers from the Bear Den Learning Center. There's going to be 2 drop-off locations, one at Boreen and then another stop at the Mid-Station Legacy Lodge. And so this really opens up and provides more flexibility to our beginner skiers to access that side of the mountain.
And that's been in the works a long time.
Well, yep, the team has worked very hard this summer to get that in place. And obviously, it's taken us a couple of years to budget for that. But yeah, we'll be opening that soon, and it'll be a good addition to our learner program and providing access to more parts of the mountain.
Anything else? New programs for the season ahead?
We have our typical private lessons, group lessons, adaptive programs are obviously something that's important to our programming as well. We also have continued to increase our snowmaking capability. So we, over the past few years, have installed over 400 low energy, high efficiency snow guns, and we just put in another 150 with a focus primarily up on Perrin's Run. And so we're just working to continue to improve the skier and rider conditions throughout the mountain.
Of course, if you go to Lake Placid, you have some other winter options as well. You're unique in the Northeast in that respect as the host of 2 Winter Olympics. So, sell us a little bit. What can, particularly if you have a non-skier in your group, what can they look forward to?
Yeah, so we're pretty jam-packed with events again this year. We had over 50 from youth hockey games to World Cups last year. Just this month, actually this Sunday, is World Ice Skating Day. And so at the Olympic Oval and the Olympic Center, we have a day of free activities from learn to skate to learning about speed skating. We'll have athletes there to sign autographs, and it'll be a day of celebration. We're honored this year because Lake Placid is actually the main partner with the International Skating Union. And so we'll be on the global stage celebrating, and we invite everyone to come out. Everything is free. We also have coming up the World Cup luge event at Mount Van Hoevenberg. That same weekend is Holiday Village Stroll here in Lake Placid, which brings a popular event, which is Santa Sunday at Whiteface. And then we also have the Adirondack Invitational this year at the Olympic Center, where we have 4 Division I teams playing during Christmas break. And that's really kind of what's happening in December. And then we have, a number of skating competitions. We have the Nordic Junior Nationals, Continental Cup, Empire State Games, FIS races, as well as the ECAC hockey tournament coming up, as well as 2 additional World Cups. The popular World Cup ski jumping is in February, and we also have bobsled and skeleton in March.
Is that all? That's quite a list.
I could add, we actually have one more item that I think everyone's looking forward to, which is the solar eclipse. And so we'll close out the winter season with viewing parties at our facilities. So that's April 8th, something everyone should put in their calendar.
We'll be hearing much more about that. But Darcy Norfolk, for us from the Olympic Regional Development Authority in Lake Placid, many thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Every resort must try to manage variable weather, climate change, and other operational challenges post-pandemic. More now of our conversation with Ski Vermont's Molly Mahar. Let's talk about some of the challenges that so many resorts, if not all of them, are facing. Staffing, labor costs, a changing climate. I don't know where you want to start, but some resorts are going to some effort to try to get their seasonal hires a place to live.
Yes.
In a state with a huge housing crisis, that's a challenge.
All of the above, yes. Yeah. So ski areas are working on that in a variety of ways. We've seen them repurpose buildings that have been inns and lodges, turning them into workforce housing. Smugglers has been working with the Johnson campus to be able to utilize some of their dorm space that isn't used right now to help house some of the international workforce that they bring in. And then building new, which Sugarbush has a project that they're going through permitting right now to build some new housing. And then, some resorts are taking housing out of their rental pool that they would rent to skiers and riders coming to stay at their resort, taking that out and using it for employee housing, which, is a short-term solution, but if you need to house people, that's what you need to do.
You have to do it.
So yeah, you have to do it, and so that's one of the issues that we're particularly interested in this year and last year over at the legislature, is just making sure that we are moving in the right direction with building more housing, because we need it. All businesses need it.
What are you going to ask of the legislature this winter?
Well, housing probably is at the top of the list. Act 100, and S100, and I think it was Act 47. Last year it was starting to go in a good direction, but it really didn't go far enough. So we'd like to see more of that. And certainly, intertwined with that is Act 250. Act 250 modernization, which has been a conversation for at least the last 5 years in earnest, and really haven't made much progress there. But we would really like to see that process streamlined, which doesn't mean relaxing regulations. It means just streamlining the process so it's a little bit more linear. So that we don't have to do things twice. There's a lot of overlap between Act 250 and a lot of the technical permits that we get from the Agency of Natural Resources. So, being able to do that work once, and really the predictability and the time it takes to get a permit are really critical to us, because, if you're working at a ski area, or if you're at a ski area that has corporate ownership, you're competing for those capital dollars, right? And if you get slotted for capital for a new lift, you need to make sure that you can get your permits done in time. And then we also have the compressed construction season too, which even gets further compressed sometimes by the habitat restrictions, like you can't be in certain places during, thrush nesting season, for example. So, so having permits be more predictable in terms of exactly how to put your application together, that you'll come out the other side with a permit, and knowing sort of what your timing looks like for that is pretty key.
How many of your alpine ski resorts are clamoring for this?
I'd say everybody is, because all of our projects go through Act 250, so that's a really important one. Other things are workforce development, the career and technical education funding. those are issues that we're following, because that is, we need tradespeople, we need electricians, we need plumbers, we actually have an apprenticeship program for lift maintenance. It's called the Tramway Maintenance Technician Apprentice Program, which is a long way to say lift maintenance, but it's a 6,000-hour program like you would do for plumbing or electrical, with classroom components. There's 75 hours of classroom time, over a 3-year period, and that's a really important program for us, because the lift maintenance aspect is a very kind of specialized, but very important piece of our workforce, and so we need to be making sure that we're growing new ones and progressing the ones we have and keeping them.
The whole country has been focused on inflation pressures the last year or two, supply chain challenges. How is that translating into what's going to be new for customers heading to the mountain this winter?
That's a good question. Well, I know that the sort of just supply chain, the timeline for buying new lifts has really lengthened. I mean, it used to be that you could sign a contract in May and get your lift put in that season. Now it's, the lift companies are almost sold out, if not sold out, for the coming year. So that has lengthened. We're coming off a couple of big years of lift construction. This is a fairly muted one, I would say. We've got 2 new lifts. We've got one at Middlebury Snow Bowl, and Magic has been in the process of replacing their lift, one of their lifts, and so I believe that's scheduled to come on, or they're thinking it's going to come online early this season. So lots of snowmaking work. That's a critical, that is a critical sustainability tool for our ski areas and our ski communities. So, replacing pipe, pumps, so that snowmaking infrastructure, more new low efficiency gun, or high efficiency, low energy guns, and semi-automatic and automated guns, which is really important, because with some of the shorter windows we have to make snow, the quicker you can turn your system on and turn it off, the more productive you're going to be.
And more night skiing.
And more night skiing, thank you. Yes, Middlebury Snow Bowl is adding lights, so they'll be offering night skiing several nights a week, which is great. It's a great little area, and it's actually not such a little area, but it's a great community resource for the Middlebury community.
So if someone approached you on the sidewalk and said, Molly, skiing is just no longer accessible to the average family in Vermont anymore, you counter it by saying?
Well, I think if you plan ahead, so if you're a skiing family and you want to ski, I would say season passes are the thing. That's the investment that you want to make. Now, I would say that the prices at the larger areas tend to get a lot more scrutiny, but we also have the smaller areas that the smaller and medium-sized and more community-focused areas that like Pico right next to Killington. I think that's you're going to find more Vermonters probably skiing at Pico, an area like Pico. So I think there are affordable ways to get in, but it is an investment for sure. And I think that's one of the challenges for our industry is finding ways to, and we do have pretty affordable beginner packages where you can, for the price of maybe a lift ticket, you can get a ticket, lesson, rental equipment. But you need to be able to try the sport before you're going to commit to a season pass. And so, there tends to be a little bit of a gap there. But we also see sales of you can buy a 4-pack of tickets. And usually that's a time-limited sale. So you definitely have to plan ahead. But just like for many things now in life, like if you want to go to a national park, you have to plan ahead. If you want to play golf, you need to plan ahead. So skiing is similar to that.
Good luck on the season ahead.
Thank you.
Thanks for the time.
Absolutely.